The moment I was born, Mother was screaming, not from joy, but from sin. She thought it was cancer devouring her body. She never realized it was just me, her daughter, fighting to enter this world. She looked at me with eyes that saw a monster clawing up from hell, called me the product of their crime, raised the scissors to sever my life. But she hesitated. Mercy? Fear? No matter. So I lived, carrying the fear she couldn't cut away, the hatred she couldn't smother, and I grew. My name is Carrie White, her name for me, plucked from some martyr's tale in the Bible, never learned the shape of friendship, never deciphered the language of kisses. She taught me this: a woman's body is corruption, love is sin. Desire? The key that turns hell's lock. Mirrors were forbidden, boys an abomination. School? A fleeting rumor. My world was 4 gray walls and the weeping Christ who watched me bleed. Then came my 16th year. They intervened, said I had a right to learn. So they cast me out into school, a mute creature hurled among chattering flocks. They stared, they laughed, couldn't decipher their slang, their skimpy clothes, the way they pressed skin to skin, haunted corners, stealing glances, never daring to touch. During a poolside game, my stray ball struck her. The golden girl, her pack erupted. The others joined the chorus, fixed my eyes on the tiles, but their laughter needled into my skull. But the shower room was worse, water sluicing off me when I saw it, thick red ribbons unfurling down my thighs. Screamed, I knew I was dying, ran naked, sobbing for help. They laughed until the walls shook. They hurled sanitary pads at me like stones at a madwoman. I didn't even know what they were. No one had ever told me about menstruation. Mother only said, women bleed because they're unclean. That day, for the first time, I wondered, if I'm a monster, who made me? Doubted. Were the taunts, the stares, the very air thick with malice truly what I deserved? But beneath the shame and terror, something stirred. A nameless, flickering power trembled in my fingertips. Then Miss Desjardins arrived, and the chaos stopped. But I couldn't stop. My body was trapped in a nightmare. I hyperventilated, sobbed. She slapped me, froze. So even calming down required someone else's violence. Remember, staring at the light bulb and shattering it. No one saw my gaze. They called it a coincidence. When the principal said they'd called Mother, my heart stopped. She'd know I'd bled. She'd call me fallen. She'd damn me to hell. Gasped like a drowning woman, and the water cooler exploded, fled. Mother came anyway. She saw Chris pressed against her boyfriend, and her eyes burned them alive. Whispered prayers about spoiled children needing correction. At home, I dared to ask, why didn't you tell me about periods? No answer, just silence. But silence cuts deeper than lies. Then the neighbor's boy called me freak, glared. He fell off his bike, never touched him. But in that moment, I understood. I could fight back. Inside, Mother smashed her skull against the wall, wailing about the sin of birthing me. She twisted scripture, said my blood made me unclean. But Miss Desjardins swore it was normal, that every girl... The Bible hit my skull before I finished. She locked me in that pitch-black prayer closet, saying I couldn't come out until I begged God for forgiveness. Screamed, and the door splintered apart. Then the crucifix on the wall bled under my gaze. The next day, everyone at school was watching the video. Someone had posted my shower breakdown online. They spray-painted FREAK across my locker. Stood before the mirror, staring at my reflection. When the glass shattered, realized then, this was no accident. Could break things without touching them. At the library, I found a book about telekinesis, moving objects or people with the mind. Suddenly, the shower room made sense. Maybe this was normal too, like bleeding. In class, the teacher called me to recite. When I finished, someone muttered an insult, too quiet to hear. But when challenged, he spoke up. Carrie's poem was good, so earnest, so kind. Ducked my head disbelieving. For a heartbeat, I almost trusted. Maybe the world could soften. Maybe if I stayed small, the pain would pass. Was wrong. Chris brought her lawyer father to school, played victim in the principal's office, sobbing about Miss Desjardins' abuse. Lurked in the hall, listening. Her voice trembled, but not with remorse. She repainted herself as the wronged saint. Then the teacher demanded her phone. Chris recoiled like it burned. Silence was her confession. That night, I drew my curtains, lit a candle, practiced, made books rise and settle like breathing, lifted my bed an inch, then two. Power coiled in my palms like holding the world's leash, and I knew, wasn't just the freak anymore. The stairs creaked. Mother came with a knife, said she'd heard things, feigned sleep. She hovered, blade glinting, finally left. But I lay awake, pulse steady. No more prey. The next day, Sue spoke to Tommy. I want to make it right, she said. Take Carrie to prom. Prom? I'd never imagined myself there. Tommy stood before me, eyes so clear they couldn't be lying. But I ran. Why me? Why now? Wept like I had in the shower. But this time, Miss Desjardins didn't slap me. She listened. Her gaze held pity, confusion, but mostly happiness for me. For the first time, I felt seen. She confronted Sue, warned against cruelty, the only one who tried to understand. Yet, even she underestimated me. After school, Tommy came to my house. I'm not leaving until you say yes. Agreed. On one condition, home by 10:30. And for once, I almost hoped. Let myself dream. A normal girl, a dance, a hand to hold. At the mall, every dress cost too much, so I bought fabric, sewed my own, something beautiful, even if Mother called it Sin's banner. She waited at the door, wrath incarnate. I'm going, I said. She prayed like I'd summoned hell, raged. Furniture levitated. She floated. I'd never defied her before, but that night, won. Prom night arrived, my handmade gown, faint makeup. The mirror showed someone I barely knew. Mother slapped herself bloody to stop me. It didn't work. I didn't answer, just locked her in the prayer closet. Tommy's eyes lit up when he saw me. No one had ever looked at me like that. Hand in hand, we stepped into the crowd. I wasn't Carrie White anymore, not the freak shoved into closets. I danced. I laughed. They didn't jeer. They cheered. Tommy taught me the steps, his palm warm on my waist. For the first time, I wasn't a monster, wasn't a joke. Not the girl who crumpled naked under shower spray. I was a girl, held, seen, wanted. My hand trembled on his shoulder, but he just smiled, spun me gently. When I stumbled, he never scowled, only whispered, again. Then they called our names, prom king and queen. The spotlight found me. Applause roared. I'd won. Maybe this was happiness until the bucket tipped, warm, sticky, pig's blood. The night before prom, Chris and Billy stole into a slaughterhouse, filled a bucket with pig's blood, poured it over me like I was livestock. The crowd howled, then the screen lit up. My shower breakdown, broadcast for laughs. Chris won. She'd finally made me the ultimate joke. Stood frozen, one truth ringing. They always laugh. Mother was right. Miss Desjardins ran toward me, raised a hand. She flew. Silence. Then the bucket slammed into Tommy's skull. He fell. Didn't move. My world shattered, screamed, lights exploded, windows sealed shut. Every laugh became a death sentence. Chairs hurled, flames swallowed the gym, spared the teacher. The rest? Executed. Chris and Billy fled. Their car screeched toward me, lifted my hands, metal crumpled, the world flipped. Boom! Chris's skull cracked the windshield. Felt nothing, just peace. Returned to a house gone silent. The prayer closet stood open. Mother wasn't inside, didn't call her name. Scrubbed the blood away, water lukewarm, shivered. Then she was there. We clung, sobbing. You were right, I whispered. Her answer, knife between my ribs. Staggered to the kitchen. She lunged, wild-eyed. Not a mother, murderer. In that moment, wasn't her child. She wasn't my parent, just faith and betrayal, sharp enough to kill. Raised my hand, not to strike back, just to live. The knives rose. She pinned to the wall like a saint on the cross. What have I done? What have I become? Now I'd erase the last place Carrie White existed. The roof caved. Didn't move, didn't want to. We were buried together. Finally, silence. And I was no longer the lonely, laughable, laughed at Carrie.